Torment. Let's head on over to Caravanserai. I know I have some quests to take care of there. I don't have a lot of quests left, that's good. It means I'm close to finishing up here in Sagas Cliffs. We got one true love. Search Caravanserai for evidence of Perseia's whereabouts. And I have this airship thief, which I don't think is resolved in Caravanserai, but now that the killer has been dealt with, though, I might as well go and get some sleep because my stat pools are completely drained. Let me get some supplies too. Okay. Nice. Alright, so let's see. Caravanserai is the quickest way to get there. Is this way.
Go.
I've never spoken to this Irathor Bren, have I? How come I gotta come back here and do that? Oh, Athena's up a level. Alright. Oh, I'm up a level too. I'll do this on my character. Alright. Increase my intellect edge. Gives me both an edge in speed and intellect. Oh, what I should have done is gotten light melee skill. instead of... Oh well, my next level up I'll do that. So that I have some... Oh well, that's okay. I won't be getting into combat anyway. I'm trying to avoid it anyway, so, let's increase Mad King's speed edge some more. Nice.
Eridus, did you really fall out of the sky?
I didn't fall out of the sky. I plummeted. Gracefully, I might add.
Isn't that the same as falling?
Not when I do it, no.
Brightens as he sees you. Hello, friend. And the news of Perseia. Have you seen her? Can I ask you again what Perseia looks like? Tall and queenly, with purple hair that floats up winged combs. Pay no attention to her words. She's not in her right mind. Just tell me when you find her. I have to cure for her madness. Yeah, I remember this quest. Not sure if I want to bring her back to him, but we'll see.
Learning begets or is it the other way? You're sure it's safe?
As you pass a stack of cargo, a familiar figure steps out from behind it, disguised, entirely unconvincingly, as an Aeon priest. Hello again, lad, says Tibier. I don't suppose you're ready to change your mind about me joining you. Why are you hiding? Well... It seems Riss is still unhappy with me for leaving him on the gibbet for so long, and he wants to strangle me with my own entrails to show me how it felt. I, naturally, am less enthusiastic about the lesson and would like to avoid it if at all possible. He takes a breath, finally. Therefore, I was hoping I might join you for protection, if you see what I mean. Strength in numbers and all that. Strength in numbers. Do you mean that if you join me, we're in danger of Riss attacking us? Tibier waves his hands. No, I mean the exact opposite. Riss is an utter coward. As long as you're with me, he won't dare attack. He won't even show his face. Unless you can find greater numbers, I suppose. Yeah, no, I'll pass. Are you sure? I'm a man of the world. I know my way around a lot of places.
Ready.
Atop a nearby plateau, you can just make out the top of a small dome of scintillating blue energy.
Doing begets learning, I guess.
Go.
Aha, this guy. I don't suppose he would have seen Perseia, but might as well ask him. The children of the Endless Gate slaughtered innocents in the underbelly. Will you hunt them down? I've heard of these scoundrels, he says. They leave pools of blood and shredded flesh in their wake. You are right, my friend. This world cannot bear the blight of these villains upon our skin any longer. Simply say the word, and I shall hunt them unto my dying breath. Yes. Good hunting, Quijano del Toboso.
Yes.
This craft is capable of carrying one person, two at most. The interior is richly appointed with satin pillows, and the air feels cooler inside. Nice air conditioning.
Sideways. To action.
Sure.
If you want a job done right.
The Discord returns, he says. His eyes remain locked on some imaginary vista that only he can see.
You bet.
All right.
I'm looking for a woman named Perseia. She is said to be beautiful and has purple hair. Have you seen her?
Making a note.
She gives you a sad smile. Perhaps. Many people stay here. This woman might have been among them, but I don't remember her. I'm sorry. He's been talking to Olmadan. Well, I won't reveal Perseia's secret. Okay, so she knows. Oh, is that her right there?
Yes. Now.
No. Devices near the head of this bed move to match the current time of day, shading the eyes of their occupants. Beside the bed is a handsome and well-made night table with a single drawer. A large, open book sits on top of it. The pages of the book are made of thick vellum, and it appears to be an atlas of the region. The book is open to a map that depicts the city of Sagas Cliffs, the Valley of Dead Heroes nearby, a range of mountains to the north labeled the Osifagan Range, and a circular desert farther to the east, marked as the Lost Sea. A thin strip of fabric has been placed between the open pages. A second fabric strip marks another place in the book. The book doesn't seem new. Its pages are worn from frequent use, but that's all you can discern. It might be anywhere from 10 to 50 years old. No dates are stamped on any of the pages. Besides Sagas Cliffs, you only see a few other cities and towns. In the center of the circular desert are a large blue dot labeled the Oasis of Mirajolios and a smaller dot immediately next to it, Jerboa. On the far side of the desert is another city, Haref. On one end of the Valley of Dead Heroes is a dot labeled the Necropolis. It's unclear whether this is a settlement or just a site of interest. You see another full-page map, this time representing a region called Augur Kala. It seems to be located somewhere to the northwest of Sagas Cliffs, and it's defined by a massive ring of mountains labeled as the Clock of Kala. The mountain range is so perfectly round that it was almost certainly engineered by artificial means in the distant past. Several cities and towns dot the landscape, but the largest and most prominent is named Sada Imidu. After a few moments, you turn back to the map of Sagas Cliffs region. The drawer appears to be locked, but you can hear something rattling around inside. The noise is faint but constant, as if the object were alive. It's a good thing I have high quick finger skill. I don't even need to spend anything and I have an 85% chance. I can spend a point and make it 100%, but it's good enough. Or I could have Makina do it. She has 2 edge. She gets 90% right off the bat, even though she doesn't have as high quick finger skill. After a bit of effort, you hear a satisfying click and the drawer opens soundlessly.
I'll remember that.
Inside, you find a small ornamental comb that looks like a jeweled insect. In fact, it is a jeweled insect, a biomechanical marvel that is very much alive. The pincers seek to fasten themselves upon locks of hair, and its wings allow it to hover around the wearer's head. Several strands of hair are still clutched into the comb's pincers. They are a vibrant purple. You feel like you've seen this style of biomechanical craftsmanship before. It is very old, probably older than the Ninth World. The small ornamental comb is actually a living jeweled insect, a biomechanical marvel. The pincers seek to fasten themselves upon locks of hair, and its wings allow it to hover around the wearer's head, creating unique styles that would otherwise be impossible. The floating comb and the purple hair match Omedan's description of Perseia. It seems likely that she stayed in this very room, probably not long ago. You said you hadn't seen Perseia, but I found this comb in one of your rooms. The hair in it is purple, just like hers. She takes the comb and examines it, frowning. Yes, I lied to Omedan, and I do not regret it, though I know you will judge me for it. Perhaps you'll understand when I tell you Perseia's story. Yes, please. I'm not necessarily going to tell him where Perseia is. I want to just find out more about this first.
I'll remember that.
Omedan may believe her to be his one true love, but it is obsession, not love, and it has made a monster of him. This matches what I've been thinking so far. She sighs. From what Perseia told me, he found her corpse in a sepulchre in the Valley of the Dead Heroes, perfectly preserved by ancient science, and fell in love with her beauty. His foolishness might have ended there, except that Omedan had ancient science of his own, and he used it to wake her from death. He seemed to think this unasked-for resurrection would make him a hero in her eyes, and she would fall instantly in love with him. But she was unnerved by his fervor. She explained that she did not share his feelings. He wouldn't listen. He saw her disgust as a passing madness. Perseia has fled from him ever since, but he is relentless. She looks up. Do you see now why I helped her? Why I lied to him and to you? Obsession is often mistaken for love, and the beloved is simply a prize to be won. Yes, love can't be won through obligation. It must be given freely. She breathes a sigh of relief. I'm glad to hear you say that. What do you intend to do now? This is the... I like this one the best. A noble cause of action, though not an easy one, I fear. I wish you good luck. May not work, but I'll give it a shot. I have high persuasion skill. Or at least some persuasion skill, and a whole lot of intellect to use. So. Tranquility told me that you're the reason Perseia is on the run. She hates and fears you. Hates me? His shoulders sagged. She's hardly given me a chance. I gave her life. She should be grateful. Instead, she runs like I'm some monster. I'm gonna appeal to his pride. You're clearly a man of great abilities. Why waste your time chasing a woman who doesn't appreciate them? He chews his lip. It's true. She has never acknowledged my finer qualities, but isn't that more reason why I must get her back? So I can prove to her there is no better man for her than me. Do you want to be remembered as a lovesick fool who chased a woman who hated him? You're a great man. Think of all you could achieve. I have 70% chance without spending anything. Spend 1 point, it's 90%. She starts out at 55. Is terrible. She's terrible. So yeah, clearly I should be one doing this. Let's spend the point. I have a big old pool to work with. Make this a near sure thing. For a long moment, he looks like he isn't going to listen. Then he lifts his chin. You're right. I'm making a laughing stock of myself. A man of my years and talents shouldn't fall head over heels like some overeager stripling. It's an embarrassment. Time to return to my work.
Making a note.
Nice. Install tranquility. This is wonderful news, she says, her eyes shining. You have done a great kindness. Cool. Right, so that quest is solved. All I have left is this Eyes of the Adversary quest. And resolving this airship thief. So I guess I need to go back. Let's try resolving that. I should go back to the town clerk. See if I can convince him.
Learning begets doing. Or is it the other way?
Let me talk to Sigyn first, since she might owe me a favor. Drones still circle the uniformed woman's head. She's whispering to one of them as you approach, but she waves it away and smiles faintly at you. I wasn't sure I'd see you again. Nodded on. As she turns her face back to the drone, something about her profile strikes you as familiar. In that moment, she looks so much like the ghostly girl you left in the Fifth Eye that they could be the same person, though this woman seems 20 years older at least. You look a lot like someone I met in the Fifth Eye. She laughs aloud. In that moment, her voice is clear and rich, like that of a much younger woman, or even a teenage girl. Was she a scarred peltast, wedded to her blade, fresh from the endless battle? God's about it. It's another one of us. Actually, she was young, with a chorus of whispering voices all around her. Her face goes pale. Then I know who she was. She was the woman who haunted me when I was a girl. The woman I was supposed to become. For as long as I can remember, I felt as though this other woman was taking shape inside me. When I was a girl, I'd gaze at myself in the looking glass, and every day I seemed less like me and more like her. I don't remember when I abandoned my family, but I couldn't have been more than 10 or 12. They seemed like strangers to me. I couldn't even remember who they were. I started hearing stories about other girls like me, older girls, younger girls. I sought them out. I learned everything I could. All the ones I met went mad, and they never survived past their 20th year. It wasn't always the same death. Sometimes it was sickness, or an accident, or they ended their own lives. But somehow, they always died. It was fate, and it was mine too. But you survived. I cheated. She's silent for a moment. When I was old enough to become a citizen, to sacrifice a year to create a levy, I went straight to the Order of Truth and I told them I wanted to donate as many years as I could. I didn't think it would work, she confides. But what choice did I have? When they started taking the first few years, and I aged closer to 20 each time, I thought I would die. The levy that was born from my 20th year was a monster. They tried to make me stop, but I refused. I made them go on. I burned through my 20s and beyond, and with every year I lost, I felt that other woman inside me weakening, pleading, dying. I laughed as they burned the years away. When I walked into the Order of Truth, I was a teenage girl. When I walked out a few hours later, I was a middle-aged woman. But I was free. How long has this been happening to women in the city? Centuries, I think. The earliest reference I could find was around the time of Chila, but it probably goes back even further. There was an Aeon priest about 80 years ago. He thought he'd make a name for himself by discovering the cause. He found that it only affects women in sagas, never in the outlying villages. He thought it might be caused by some kind of Numenera underneath the city, but he was never able to prove anything. So how old are you really? 22. That's why I was too young to remember you when you were here last. I was a 12-year-old girl, a runaway, half mad, and living in the streets. You said the levy that was born from you from your 20th year was a monster? It was death. Not death the way it's personified in stories, but death like it really is. A bloated thing with festering sores, vomiting blood and pus and excrement from every orifice. Even the Aeon priests were terrified. They burned it to a pile of ash. Wow. For all the clerk's sharp-eyed focus and uncanny speed, you manage to slip past his guard and knock a document astray. Before he can react, it twirls through the wrong portal. Perhaps a slave's manumission is now consigned to a vault of subversive texts. Perhaps a madam's complaint about a client slipped deeply into arrears has found its way into public record. Horrified, he immediately halts. I see there is no biting in mischief, he hisses. So what do you want? A faint sigh is the only acknowledgement you receive. I'm trying to resolve a legal dispute between two men named Eratis and Renio. Eratis crashed an airship at Renio's. Can you help? Do you think that because I can make a document vanish at the snap of my fingers, I can do the same for a civil suit? He shakes his head with slow condescension. It's not so easy. The only relief the city could provide would be taking over Ericus's liability for the accident through a certificate of indemnity. But I assure you, the council does not take on such liability willy-nilly, nor does it grant its clerk discretion to fritter away the city's money. He stares at you with two eyes. Only someone much more important than you or I could persuade the council to do such a thing. Have you such a friend? What if I offered you a further customary gratuity? The clerk pauses momentarily in his work and fixes all four eyes on you. That would be a bribe, not a gratuity. Accordingly, I would report the matter to the captain of levies for her to dispose of pursuant to the crime code. Warning delivered. He returns to sorting paperwork. How can I find someone who could help me? Finding the powerful is never difficult. Their glory shines like a beacon over the entire city. Look among the slave families for one who needs assistance of the sort your kind provides. He smirks. Even the mighty, especially the mighty, understand the principle of quid pro quo.
I'll remember that.
Exactly what are you doing with all those papers? The clerk shakes his head at your ignorance. I am taking them from where they were to where they must be by bending the space between them. And, as they pass across my lectern, I assure that they are properly prepared. To the body politic, I serve as heart, kidney, and nervous system all in one. He snaps his fingers, opening a portal and flicking a scroll through it. Before I undertook this role, the council employed layers and layers of logophates, scriveners, registrars, and couriers, each corruptible, vulnerable, insular. The Memavira's tendrils grew through the cracks in teetering edifice. He stares at you with two bright eyes, but now there is only myself. Had I not come to this office, I wonder who would rule the city. Not that the Numenera had not tried, but even she cannot corrupt the incorruptible. The slim man looks to be in good shape, and though his face remains hidden within his hood, he carries himself with confidence. His clothing exudes something like smoke that makes him look a bit like a ghost, perhaps a man who can't be found if he doesn't want to be. Irithor Bren, he states. Pleasure. I'm a merc, head of the Eanthin Spectre Company. What brings you to the Red Thicket? Tell me about the Eanthin Spectre Company. We do infiltration mostly, he says with a smoothness that implies he's given a speech before. Sabotage, assassinations, assorted hostile recovery. Sometimes the city hires us to handle local threats, problematic tribes, roaming predators, you name it. He chuckles. Pretty quiet these days, not like when we got started. Our first big job was a series of assaults in the endless battle. He looks familiar, that tattoo especially. Can't think why I'd know him though. What did you do in the endless battle? Can't say, he says automatically. Contracts, you understand. All I can tell you is that Chalcedon pays on time. That's more than I can say for some of the employers I've had over the years. He sighs. One of the best jobs I've ever had. Who's the Chalcedon? One of the commanders on the Changing Gods side, he says. Pays well and on time. That's the extent of my opinion on the matter. Now my turn for questions. It's not just that tattoo that gives you away. I know you, don't I? Where from? We fight together? Fight each other? What is it? His hand drops to a pocket near his hip. Tell the truth now. I'll know if you're lying. His thoughts don't tell me anything. I'll have to try the direct approach. Let's make it 90. Nope. Can you read my thoughts? He barks a loud laugh. The only way you'd know that is if you could read mine, too. Useful skill, isn't it? Now you know why you shouldn't try to lie to me. So where do I know you from? I have no idea. Irithor stares you down. Something tickles the back of your mind. This is miserable, he says, scratching his head. I'm going to be running your face through my head all day. His thoughts don't betray anything, but I know I've seen him before. What is your company doing at Sagas? Negotiations, he says shortly. I'm between meetings with a few council representatives. They may want us for some ongoing work. He shows his teeth. Bit of a bidding war going on right now, to be honest. We're in demand. So long as all sides are interested, the strongest will prevail, as it should. What's the endless battle? Really? He says, cocking an eyebrow. Alright, it's basically like it sounds. A fight that's given people like me a solid payday for more generations than anyone could count. He shrugs. As far as I heard, it's a scrap between rival factions of the changing gods' cast-offs. What about? I couldn't tell you. He cracks a grin. Getting interested in the why of a war always ends up being bad for business.
If you want a job done right.
Welcome back. Here to trade. Good, she says simply. What information do you need? I already know about this. Genuine pleasure warms her face. Agreed, she says. What do you offer? Would you accept secrets about Sagas cliffs? Of course. If I don't already know them, of course. The anechoic lazaret in the reef can be opened with the eye of unlocks. Her eyebrows rise halfward towards her hairline. Very useful, she says, swiftly tapping the air over her breastbone several times. Fascinating. Now, for your interesting secret. She traces the corner of her lips thoughtfully. Ah, yes. The construct known as Master Artisan has been able to repair its eyes for years. It prefers to be blind. I've met several women suffering from an insistent voice in their head. What's causing it? I can advise you on this matter. What secret will you offer me? Malin, one of the Dendra, killed and ate someone who stole from him. She says, touching the air beside her neck. From what I understand of the Dendra or her, that's hardly a murder from their point of view. It is merely, she pauses. Impolite? Still, that's useful information. To answer your question, there are machines beneath the city that manipulate reality and probability, and directly tamper with the minds of these women. She presses her lips together. My sources indicate that the changing god put them there, but no one knows why. She glances away from you. If you're looking to help them, perhaps you should look for the machine responsible and turn it off. Cool. So that's probably in the Changing God's Sanctum. So I should go back down there.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Yes. Now.
Min of Tan Liang from the Order of Truth says hello. Really? Tell him he should visit more often. Construct pauses. Even if he doesn't like the smell. The foreman's worker chuckles.
Let's go all. Even me.
I'm going.
Alright, so we'll leave off here. Next time we'll try to turn off this machine that's causing the trouble for these women. And try to wrap up the last few remaining quests I have, which isn't many. It's really just the airship thief and the eyes of the adversary. And then I think we'll be moving on.